everybody, I'm Stephen Human. Welcome to Superhuman Customs. Today we have some pretty simple ones. We're just going to do some quick repaints, but we're going to do two at once. We're going to do Ultraman and Owlman. And what we're going to do with them is we're just going to spangle them up a little bit. I'm a big believer that Ultraman is so insecure that he would have gold-plated everything and he would walk out in a sequined outfit. So he needs to be a little bit more metallic. We're just going to do some nice quick paints on both of these guys just to make them look a little bit cooler on the shelf. We'll do the same thing with Owlman, just metallic up, make it look a little bit more like armor, not quite so much like, look at me, like I think Ultraman will be. But this is gonna be a lot of fun, so let's dive right in. First thing we're gonna do is with Owlman. And we are gonna take, and we're gonna darken him up. Obviously we're gonna metallic him, we're gonna make him look a little bit more like this is armor, but I want it darker first because the blue that we're gonna use, we're actually gonna use the same metallic blue on both of them. But it'll give different tones based off of what the underlying color is. So Ultraman will look very bright and shiny, but we want Owlman to look very dark and shiny. So that's what we're gonna do. Go through, we're also gonna do it on his mask because we're gonna metallic that, we're gonna make it silver. So yeah, that's just the first thing to do. Go through, darken him up. While Ultraman is drying, I went through and I changed the hand on one of them. I like the angry hand. And we're gonna go through with some red metallics over the top of his S. Now this is gonna be nice and smooth. It's gonna be very, very subtle because this paint, more than any of the other metallics that I have, gets super blotchy. So this has to be just a really thin coat just to get sort of the metallic sparkles on it. And that's it. But I'm doing it first so that if I, like that, if I get any anywhere, I can easily clean it up. So I'm just gonna go through there and then we will move on to the blue on both of these guys. And now let's get to it. This is the big part. So I'm just using this pearlescent blue, azul, real true blue. It's just a craft paint. And remember craft paints, they don't do as well as the Vallejo paints do. But I found these metallics because they're cheaper and they need to go on super thin, that they do just fine. So I use them all the time and I've never had a problem with them. They adhere really beautifully, especially after you wash, the figure with soap and water to get rid of the oils. Once you do that, then it really does a great job. And you can see here on Ultraman, immediately makes them shiny, makes them look metallic. And now let's show on our good friend Owlman. And you can see right away that they have very different tones, especially if you go on as thin as I'm going on. Just getting a little bit, moving it around, making sure that it just goes on nice and thin. Then all the underneath stuff comes out, but it makes them look metallic. So you can see a massive difference between the two of them using the exact same paint. And that is what we're after. Obviously with this guy, we're gonna do some more details here with some silver and things, but for now, let's just go through, get these guys metallic. Really liking how these guys are looking. It's such a simple thing to add metallic paint like this, but it makes such a huge difference in their display ability because suddenly they just stand out against everything else. They look like, I don't know, it's just cool. It's interesting to try this on just different figures that you think, would look cool metallic. I mean, like Superman, I can't see as being metallic, generally, like the New 52 Superman, of course, because he was like in armor or whatever. But there's so many characters that it's just fun to go through and do stuff like this. Nice and simple, takes about 20 minutes, and you can have an entirely different look of your figure. Now that the blue is in place and dry, we're gonna go through with our silver, and we're gonna highlight a lot of this stuff. Just hit the edges, hit over in here, and we're gonna hit these areas in here to give them more of a silver look, more of a metallic look. That's what we want. And that will give him a much more armored feel as the silver catches these edges. Just feel free to move it around. Add more where you think there should be more, add less where you think there should be less. Just make it look the way you want it to look. One thing I like doing with characters like this is just taking a toothpick with some silver on it and hitting up all these little rivets. It's just a really nice subtle thing, but it really does just overall make it look much more realistic and detailed. So it's something that's worth doing. And it just makes the figure look that much more interesting. Now I'm just taking a thinner brush and I'm going over the mask to just make it so that it really pops. This will be nice and quick. I mean, overall, these are both really quick customs. Very fun, not a lot of effort. Last thing I want to do here is I don't want to do too much with the cape because it already has a very interesting sort of almost metallic flow to it. But I do want to accent in between these little joints here. So I'm just taking a little bit of wash and I'm just running it down in these seams just to make them stand out a little bit. And I think at that point we'll be done with these guys. One more thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of wash on their faces, just a little. And I think that'll add just some nice texture. And I'm going to wipe off with my fingers to make sure it stays in the creases and doesn't get too far anywhere else. But I think that's going to make them both look really cool. And here we go. 2 for 1. I think it turned out great. Having metallic figures, especially when they're supposed to look metal or you think they should look metal, really do turn out looking pretty awesome. I love how this Ultraman looks, just shiny. And then this on the Owlman, everything really just pops now. Looks much more mean. These guys will look great on the shelf. So thank you for watching. This was a very simple custom, something you can do yourselves, and that really does make a huge difference. I'm Stephen Human. Check out stephenhumanauthor.com for all of my sci-fi thriller novels, because I am a novelist, and I'll see you guys soon.